Shall we start the section?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You may start.
Okay. Okay. Our topic of discussion is document object model. This is an important concept or one of the core concepts in the case of dynamic web pages. So let's start with DOM. These are contents we are going to discuss in this session. First, we will discuss the introduction to the DOM. Then, DOM navigation. That means accessing each and every elements of the DOM. Then DOM manipulation, we will manipulate the content in using DOM. Then we will add or remove an HTML element from our page using DOM. Then we will introduce the basics of event handling. So this is the basic discussion. So introduction, DOM navigation, then DOM manipulation, and adding or removing element from DOM and event handling. Okay, let's start with introduction. Okay, DOM stands for Document Object Model. So which is a core concept which adds dynamicity to the web pages so that we can manipulate entire web page on the fly. So DOM is created by every browser when the web page is loaded by the web browser. So whenever the web page is loaded into the web browser, a corresponding DOM structure or a DOM tree is created. Okay, we will look into one of the sample page and corresponding DOM tree. Okay, so here is a page is given, an HTML code is given, and in that for that corresponding HTML page, we will look into corresponding DOM tree created. Okay. Okay, we can see that there is HTML tag, and inside that HTML tag there is two tags, head and body. Okay, head and body, and inside that head tag we can see that another tag that is called title. Then inside that body tag we can see two tags, h1 and corresponding ul. Ul stands for, as you know, that is unordered list. We can see list items. Three list items are given: HTML5, CSS3 and JavaScript. So inside that ul we can see three elements. Sorry for that. So our entire document tree is DOM trees. This is the DOM tree shown. So HTML, head and body, and inside that head there is title, and inside that body there is h1 and ul, and inside that ul there is li, another li, and again an li. Okay. So this structure is created by the browser whenever that corresponding HTML page is loaded into the browser. So this is the DOM tree. It looks like a tree structure with corresponding HTML elements inside. So using this DOM tree, so this DOM tree acts as an API or application programming interface to us to access each and every element in that HTML page. We can access each and every element and we can manipulate that element. We can add or remove element. We can add style into it. We can modify in any way we wish. So that is the base feature provided by that DOM. So it acts as an API, application programming interface, for manipulating that page. So we can use JavaScript to manipulate that DOM. Okay, we'll now look into our fundamentals or basics which we are going to use in the coming lesson. So in the left side, there is a web page is given, and the right side we can see developer console, a console. So this developer console is available in every web browser. We can access this developer console from this browser options. So there is a developer option, something like button, in the right side of every browser, and through that we can access this developer console. Or there is a shortcut for accessing it, which is Control Shift I. By pressing Control Shift I in any of the browsers, I mean most of the browsers like Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, we will get this console window. Okay, so this is called developer console, and we can use developer console to code. We can practice JavaScript code inside this developer console. Okay, we will see a sample. Here I have typed a command alert hello world. So alert is a JavaScript command which prompts a message into the web page. Okay, so we will look into the result of this corresponding web page. Okay, so this would be the result. In the screen there is a message is displayed. Okay, so that is alert. So that in the developer console we can demonstrate that in the developer console we can type JavaScript commands, and that commands will be executed itself. Okay, then I will give another one command, that is console.log hello world. Okay, console.log. So that command is particularly or most effectively utilized for error debugging purposes. We can use that console.log to display something into our console. Okay, so let's see what is the output of corresponding statement. Okay, so a hello world is displayed in the console itself. Okay, now we will move into DOM navigation. Okay, so this was the fundamental or basics of DOM. So DOM stands for document object model, and that document object model it is created by every browser when a web page is loaded into that browser, and it looks like a tree structure. It has a tree structure. Tree. And that DOM tree is in a way acts as an API or application programming interface for elements in the HTML page using JavaScript. So that was the summary of that introduction session. Okay, now we will move into DOM navigation. So here, I will use this format. That means in the left side, I will give that code. So sorry for in the right side here, this is the total browser. This is the total browser. In the option is the HTML page displayed in the web page, and this portion is the console window, developer console, which I have demonstrated in the previous slide. Okay. Okay, so this will be the format we will be using in the coming slides. Okay, in the left side, this is the code. In the right side, this is the total browser page. This is the HTML content displayed in the browser, and this is the console window. Okay. So DOM navigation. In the DOM navigation, we will look into document.getElement by ID. So DOM navigation, what I mean by DOM navigation is to access each and every elements in that DOM tree. Okay, we can use several methods to access this DOM tree. So these are the following methods to access this. So document.getElement by ID, document.getElements by class, document.getElements by tag name, document.querySelector, and document.querySelector all. There are some other methods are there, but these are the core elements for focusing. Okay, so you can see one feature of each of these corresponding methods. That is, I will display it. The first letter is small letter. The second word, get, is one word, element is another word. So the next word is E, which is capitalized, and by is another word, which is again capitalized, and I is another word, which is capitalized. Okay, so I will once again demonstrate that. So I think this code. So the first letter is get. The first letter G of get is small. Then second word element is capital, B is capital, C is capital, name N is capital. So that is, you can see that feature there. So that is a convention followed by JavaScript or many programming languages. That convention is called camel casing. Camel casing, okay, you can obviously see why that got the name camel casing, because it's just looks like the hump of a camel. Okay, so that's why it got the name camel casing. So it is convention followed by giving name to methods in the case of JavaScript. So let's look into Tom navigation, each of these methods. Okay, so we will look into each of these methods one by one. So first of all, document dot get element by ID. Okay, so we will access one element using an ID. Okay, so if you observe this HTML page, you can see there is an H1 tag with ID of title. Okay, so here is this with an H1 tag with a ID title. Okay, we can access that particular element in the HTML page. Okay, the corresponding H1 displayed in the web page is this web application development. Sorry, when I tap that, it gets changed. So that is a problem. Okay, I will give the command document.get element by ID. Inside bracket, I will give title. Okay, so that statement itself means documents for entire DOM tree, and get element by ID. So get an individual element by using the ID, and we provide the ID as title. Okay, so let's see what we will get. Put displayed in the console will be that corresponding code of H1 tag. Okay, so I just highlighted this. This will not be get highlighted in the web page. For convenience, I will highlighted way. So this highlighted option will not be available in the web page. Okay, so that is document.get element by ID. So we give document.get element by ID, and we provided an ID. That ID is title, and that particular element is displayed in the console. Okay, so that is document.get element by ID. We access an element using its ID. Now we will see how to access elements using class name. Okay, so if you observe, you can see in this UL section there are different tags are there, and I have provided some class associated with it. That is, for first three, I have given a class with the name front end, and for the last two, I have given a class name backend. Okay, so let's access a particular set of elements which is having the class front end. Okay, for that, I will give the command document.get elements by class name front end. Okay, you can observe one fact that in the previous case, that was document.element by ID. So element document.get element by ID. Here we are using class name to access elements. Okay, I believe you know the difference between ID and class. Okay, so ID is unique. That means we can only assign ID for a single object. That's just like a ID card. Okay. So only I hold my ID card. So that is unique for me. So in the same way, an ID for any HTML object for that particular element. No other element can have the same ID. Okay. So that's not the class with class. For class, we can have multiple elements belonging to this, the same way that you people are belonging in the same class. and we can differentiate that class male and class female. So set of students class male and set of students class female. Okay. So multiple elements can belongs to a single class. Okay. So we will access a set of elements. So that's why it's given document dot get elements, not single element, multiple elements. Okay. So we will look what will be get selected by this option by giving the name as front end. Okay. So I highlighted it. So the output displayed in the console shows HTML collection. So that is an HTML collection of multiple elements. HTML collection of multiple elements and which contains 3 LI tags. Okay, so that's not a single element, it's a collection of multiple elements. Inside the bracket, you can see that there is a number 3 is given and that LI elements are displayed. So ways to access individual elements by class name. Now let's look document dot get elements by name. Okay, so I believe all of you know what is a tag. A tag, H1 is a tag, UL is a tag, E is a tag. HTML elements, that representation is a tag. Okay, so we will access elements by tag name. Okay, you can observe that here also there is elements. So multiple elements will have the same tag name. Okay, so here if you observe, you can see that an H1 in the top of the body with ID title is an H1, and another below the paragraph a technology is given. Technologies is given, which is again a heading. Okay, so there are two H1 elements. Okay, so we will check what is get selected when we give document elements by ID tag name. Within the bracket we will give H1. Okay, so all of the tags having the particular tag name H1 will be given. Okay, let's look. So this will be the output. So again it is an HTML collection. HTML collection means it contains multiple elements, just like an array. Okay, so it's not basically an array, but it's just like an array. That two particular H1 elements are selected. Okay, so that what happens. Okay, observe one thing. I just highlighted that using that rectangle box. This is not what happens in the web page. You will not get a highlighted option in the web page. I just highlighted it to convey the things. Okay, so that is about document get elements by tag name. Now we look into document dot query selector. So that is another option for accessing or navigating that HTML doc. So document dot query. Okay, inside query selector we can give tags, we can give class name, we can give IDs, we can give anything that can be used in this CSS. Okay, for used as a selector. You know that for selecting a class in CSS we use a dot. For selecting ID in CSS we use hash. Okay, for selecting tag we just simply give the tag name. Okay, so let's select this paragraph with query selector. So we will give document dot query selector of P. So let's see what happens. So that paragraph element will be get selected. So that what is done by that query selector. Okay, let's look another example. Let's select this ID. Let's select this title H1 with ID title. Okay, so I will give document dot get elements by tag name H1 or not. So I will give paragraph. That paragraph is get selected. Okay, I will give document dot selector of title. Then that particular H1 with that title is get selected. Okay, so that what happens with query selector. So it's a generalized version of all these things and the previous thing, that is document dot get element by ID, document dot get elements by class name, document.get elements by tag name. We can use the generalized version like document.query selector, and we can give that query. That query can be either a tag, either an ID, anything that can be formed with the CSS like selector. Okay, we will see document query select. If we give document.query selector of h1, okay, you can observe that there are two h1 elements are there. One is there, one is at the top, one is at the bottom, below, before that UL element. Let's see what happens if I just give document.query selector h1. So then only the first element of the type h1 will get selected. Even if there are two elements, only the first element gets selected. So that is an issue with document.query selector. Okay, so what is the solution? We have the solution, that is all. If we give the option document.query selector, after that and all is given, document query selector all. Okay, you can observe that camel casing, first letter is small, then the second word's first letter is capital, again the second word's first letter is capital, and so goes. So that is camel casing. So document.query selector all. Now all these elements get set. This is a node. So we saw HTML collection. Now that's node list. There are two elements, h1, the first h1 and the second h1. Both of them are get selected. So this is what happens with this selector all. Okay. Okay. So let's get into the summary of DOM navigation. In the DOM navigation, the purpose of DOM navigation means we can use DOM structure to navigate each and every elements. We can access Java's DOM elements through JavaScript. Okay, so we study how to access an element by ID. Document.get element by ID. So that is element, get element by ID. Then we have seen how to access group of elements with same class. So document.get elements by class. Then we have seen how to access an element with a single tag. So document.get elements by tag name. Then we have seen a condensed or generalized version, that is document.query selector and document.query selector all. Okay, so that is about DOM navigation or accessing elements in the DOM through JavaScript. Okay. So we have just accessed those elements. Now let's manipulate those elements. Okay. So DOM.
Sir, let me interrupt, please.
Okay.
Sir, ഒരു question വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. From one Mr. Omkar R. Is document.query selector like that navigation commands are API?
Please repeat that question.
Is document.query selector like that navigation commands are API? I guess the question is not in a proper format.
Okay, I think I get that point. So that particular command itself, that API is the API. So document.query selector is the API which is used to access individual DOM element. So I believe that's what he means.
Okay.
We can, that command is the API.
Okay. Okay, sir.
We can use a particular. Okay.
Okay, sir. We can continue with the session.
Okay. Now let's look DOM manipulation. So we have seen methods of accessing DOM elements. We manipulate those DOM elements. Okay. In this session, we will discuss text. Attribute manipulation, style manipulation, class manipulation. Okay, so we'll done. So that is an attribute. That is a way of manipulating that attribute. Inner HTML. Then attribute manipulation, style manipulation, and class manipulation. Okay. So first of all, text content. Text content. So we can assign this selected DOM in a variable named head. Okay, so var head, not warhead, variable head. Okay, so var head is equal to document dot get element by id title. Okay, so that particular element will be selected and that reference will be stored in that variable head. Okay, in the console I have logged console dot head dot text content. Okay, so that word itself is clear. Text content. Just provide me the content of the text. Okay, so provide me the text content. That means whatever text is present inside that, give it to me. So that is what happened. Web application development get displayed in this web page in the console. Okay, so console log head dot text content. So we get that particular text content inside that tag. This is the text content inside the tag, and that got displayed. So that is text content. Okay. Thing. I changed that document.text content property dynamically to internet technology and see what happens. That web application development in the displayed in the is changed to internet technology. Okay, so that way we can manipulate that HTML contents on the fly. Okay, you observe that fact. Okay, like again, this is a difficulty. So text content. When I give document dot console dot log head dot text content, that particular text content itself got displayed in the console. So head has the rough that but first h1 tag. Then when I give dot text content equal to web application development content is changed to internet technology. So we can manipulate that particular head tag. Okay. So that what happened. So we can manipulate using DOM. So it's change HTML tag. Okay, what if I give this statement? Head dot text content is equal double inside the double quote. I gave h2. I gave an entire tag h2 tag. Within that h2 tag, I gave web technology, and that itself, that as such, got displayed in the web page. Okay, you can see that the top, that as such get displayed in the web page. So what I meant by that, to only display, I want to only display that h2 tag, not that entire tag. That not that entire tag. Just want to format the text to. So that is not the thing happened there. It just displayed that entire text. Okay, let's look a way to handle that. So that is inner HTML. Okay, so just like we access text content, we can access that HTML content. So that is the purpose of inner HTML. Let's look into it. So I again access the reference of title, ID title, then console.log head.inner HTML. Okay, what is displayed is there is a little bit mistake is there, not web application development. That entire HTML content will be there. So I wrote it this portion, there's a mistake. Okay, so what if I give head.inner HTML is equal to, within the double quotes, I give an entire tag which is h3 tag. Inside that h3 tag I gave web technology. Now you see the difference. Before, when I give the same using text content, that entire text content is got displayed. When I give it using inner HTML, that inner HTML got changed. That HTML is itself got changed to web technology. Now you can see that formatted text, not that entire text content. So that is the difference between text and HTML. Okay, now let's see attribute manipulation, how we can access and manipulate attributes of HTML elements. For example, we can see, I will give you examples of attributes. For popular attributes are, for anchor tag there is href. href is an attribute of anchor tag. So that is used to specify what is the rough to that. Okay, so href. And for image tag there is an attribute src. Okay, so, the point is src.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Okay.
സാർ ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് വോയിസ് ബ്രേക്ക് ആവുന്നുണ്ട് കേട്ടോ, ക്ലിയർ ആവുന്നില്ല പറയുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ഇപ്പൊ പറഞ്ഞത് ഒന്നുകൂടെ ഒന്ന് ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് ഒരു ബ്രേക്ക് വരുന്നുണ്ട്. ഓക്കെ, ഒന്നുകൂടെ ഒന്ന് റിപ്പീറ്റ് ചെയ്യാവോ സർ?
ഏത് സെക്ഷൻ ആണ്? ഇന്നർ
HTML തൊട്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്താൽ മതി.
ഹലോ,
കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ സർ?
കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ?
ഇന്നർ HTML തൊട്ട് സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്താൽ മതി.
ഓക്കെ. Manipulation, text content, inner HTML, attribute manipulation, style manipulation, and class manipulation. Within the text content, if I give document.getElement by ID, head.text content, that content is got displayed. When you can change that text content on the fly. Text content is equal to inner technology. That text is changed on the fly. When I give it as document.text content and I provide an entire tag, you can observe that entire tag would display there. So that's not the thing I want. I want to get that web technology format in H2 tag formatting. That not happen here with text content. So I have a solution, that is inner HTML. So control.log head.html. So here there is a small mistake. This is not just web application development, and entire displayed there. Then head.inner.html is equal to I provided an entire HTML tag, and because I given inner HTML, so that tag got formatted into inner HTML or HTML format, and only web technology tag got displayed. Not that other thing like before. Okay, that is the basic difference between text content and inner HTML. Text content, just select that text, treat it as text, or inner HTML we can inject HTML content. So that is the difference. Now we will look into attribute manipulation. Okay, so how to manipulate attributes. For examples of attributes, we will see for anchor tag, we can see that attribute href. So that is a popular attribute. And for image tag, img src. So the src is an attribute of image. You see those are tags. Okay, so we can manipulate the attribute on the fly. So that is a beautiful thing. We can dynamically change. So the possibilities are, we can dynamically change that anchor tag to reference to some another page, or we can dynamically add style, or we can dynamically change image by changing that image tag. Okay, so those are the features. Okay, so here I only demonstrate a single thing. So first of all, we will get how to get attribute. Okay, so that is get attribute. So var para is equal to dot query selector of p. Okay, so you know that particular paragraph got selected. Here only single paragraph is present. Now we provide para dot get attribute of style. Okay, so you can see that inside the para, sorry, attribute. So style is an attribute, common attribute. Style is equal to color red. So style is the attribute of the para tag, and color colon red. So that is the attribute value. Okay. So here I am accessing that attribute style, that paragraph. Okay. Para dot get attribute of style. Okay. Then what will be get displayed in the web page is as follows. Console is as follows. Color red. So that is the corresponding attribute of style. So style is the attribute, and we are getting the value of attribute using document.get attribute. Inside that brackets will give style. Okay. So the value of the style attribute will be got displayed. So color red is the value. Okay. Now, so that is not in the string. We are just getting that attribute, right? Let us change that attribute. So that is set attribute. Okay. So I again that selected. This time I selected that H1 tag. So that is a difference. I selected H1. Then para.set attribute style color blue. Okay. So para.set attribute. We can not only get attribute, we can set attribute value. We can change that attribute value. So access that I provided it as set attribute. Okay. So the first portion is the attribute which need to be changed, and second portion is the color blue. Okay. So when I give, I need to set attribute style, and I need to set it as the value of color blue. Then you can observe that what's got happened. So web application development is got turned into blue color because dynamically we add a style attribute to that. Okay. So we changed or manipulated that style attribute to set it to a value blue. So that what happened. Now we will see, we can not only set attribute, we can remove attributes also. So for that we will use remove attribute. Here I provided para.remove attribute style. So what happens is that style attribute itself got removed from that DOM. Okay. So all of these things happen dynamically. It only affects that web browser. It doesn't got effect in the original source code. Original source code will not be changed. All the change happens in the web browser. Because because DOM is loaded dynamically on the fly, so it is in memory. So every change we make, that is get affected to that particular DOM tree, not to the HTML code. Okay. So here I given as para.remove attribute of style. So let's see what happened. Now that web application development is in blue color because of we added a set attribute to style color blue. Okay. So we will remove that style. So this is what happens. That style is gone. Okay. So remove attribute. Okay. So we have seen how to manipulate attribute. We get attribute. We provided get attribute. We provided set attribute, and we use remove attribute. Okay. Now we will manipulate style. Okay. So another way of manipulating those style, using get attribute, we can change any attribute. Okay. You can see the possibility that we can change images on the fly. We can change URLs on the fly. So that all things can happen. Okay. So now we will look into style manipulation. We are focusing on style. Okay. So for that in DOM we have a feature. So you can see head.style.color is equal to blue. I simply give head.style.color is equal to blue. So then that particular color inside the style got changed to blue. Okay. So that is the easiest way to manipulate style. So head dot style dot color. So style dot color. Style is the object attribute style dot color, and is which is equal to blue, means that particular value got changed to blue. Okay, so we manipulate that style on the fly. Now we will see class manipulation, how to add or remove class. Okay, so class is an important feature in the CSS world, because using class every page got styles. Okay, so we can select group of elements, we can assign a single class, change that style of particular class, and those style got applied. Okay, so in the left side there is a small difference in the web page in the source code from the previous one. Here I have added a little bit of style highlight red. Let's see what happens when I give okay, I first selected document to get element by ID title, and that reference is in variable head. Now I provide head dot class list dot add highlight. Just before, that particular head was purely in black color. It doesn't have that highlight class associated with it. We have provided head dot class list. Class list stands for list of class. Dot add. In that class list, initially that class list of that head tag was empty, blank. To the class list, we add highlight. So that highlight class get added to that h1 tag, so that black that corresponding style of highlight got affected to this particular heading. Okay, so that what happens, sorry, when I tap it, there is change happening. So let's redo it. Remove attribute, style manipulation. Okay, so we select that style, style manipulation. After that, class manipulation. Okay, class list dot add highlight. Okay, so we add highlight class to that h1 tag, so that it got all the features of that highlight class. Here in the code, you can observe that for these dot highlight, I just given a head a color red. You can change many options like you can change font, family, any option we can give background color, border, any attribute, and those as part of that high that particular element. So dynamically we can add class to particular elements. So that is an important feature or an amazing feature. Then we can also remove that added class. Okay, so I provided class list dot remove highlight. So from the class list, that highlight class will be get removed. So now our web application development is in the previous form. Okay, so that happens as part of class manipulation. Okay, so that was about DOM manipulation. So DOM manipulation, we have seen how to manipulate text content, how to manipulate inner HTML. Okay, so those two, what is the difference between them? Then we have seen how to manipulate attribute values. We can change attributes like source, src, href, style. It is even an attribute, so we can manipulate any attribute. Then we have seen how to manipulate style. So that we have seen through dot style, dot color, or dot any feature. You can manipulate through that. Then we have seen how to manipulate class, or how to add or remove class dynamically. So that is the DOM manipulation. Now we will look into.
Sir, excuse me.
Okay.
Sir, we can have the discussion for around 5 more minutes, and then we'll wind up this session. Now it's 10:20. For 5 more minutes, we can discuss the topic and then we'll wind up by 10:30. This is just a reminder.
Okay.
Students, please note if you have any doubts for the topics discussed till now, please post your questions on the question and answer tab. Thank you.
Hello.
Sir, continue ചെയ്തോളൂ.
Oh, okay. So now we will look into add or removing elements dynamically in the DOM. Okay. So we will this topics we are going to discuss are create element and remove element. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we are adding an element dynamically to that HTML DOM. That means an HTML element or an element previously was not in that HTML DOM will be get added or will be pushed into that HTML DOM. That means okay, we can add a new image into that web page, or we can add a new heading into that web page dynamically. Similarly, we can remove things also. Okay. So create element. So I'll demonstrate what we will do here. So I have given a variable var new li is equal to document.create element. So create element is a method for creating elements. And I have just created an li element. Li element, you know, list item. Okay. So that's what displayed here. I just displayed it. Then I give another value var item is equal to document.create text node.js. Okay. So a text node is created. That means it just represents a text. A text node is created, node.js. Okay. The next step is interesting. New li dot append child item. Okay. So we are appending that item in the previously created li. Okay. Now what happens is you can observe that new li has the value node.js inside that li. Okay. So please observe what happened with these three statements. So in the first statement, new li, a create element was created, an element was created, which is li. Then the next statement, a text node was created, which is node.js. That element with append child of I. So now new li has inside that node.js. Okay. So now we have selected a node UL. Now what we are going to do is interesting. We append this unordered list. We append this newly created new li to this UL. Okay. Let's see. Unordered list dot append child new li. Just like we did before, we appended this newly created new list item to the UL. So in the web page, you can see a new list item is created, which is node.js, which is highlighted in the corresponding web page display. Okay. So we created an li element using create element. We created a text node with node.js and we appended that child into that li. Now we selected that UL and then we append that li, newly created li to this UL. Okay. Look into removing child. Okay, we will look how to remove a child. So we selected that particular UL. Then we selected unordered list dot last element child. Okay. So that is an attribute. Using that, we can select the last element. Okay. So you got the idea. We are going to remove that last element. Okay. So for that purpose, I got the last element. Now del node dot parent element. For deleting any child element, we need to traverse to parent element. So I gave that dot parent element. So that parent element will be get selected. Parent element here is UL. Dot remove child. Okay. So please remember, for deleting any child node, first need to parent child, then give remove child. Okay. So parent element, then dot remove child of DIL node. What happens is that particular MySQL is got deleted from this page. Okay, so only 4 values. There is no 5th value is got deleted from the browser web page. Okay, so that is delete element. You can observe that we first selected that unordered list, then we selected the last element, then we navigate to of that last element using parent element dot parent element, and use method dot remove child of DIL node. So then that particular remove element. Okay, so the summary of that is we added element and we removed element using DOM. So that is an important feature. We can dynamically use new elements in the HTML DOM, and we can dynamically remove elements from that. Okay, now the topic that is event handling. So in this section, I will introduce the basic flavor what is event handling. So, so JavaScript is an event-based programming language. So that is event drives all. So there is some events and corresponding response or actions will happen as part of that event. So that's the basic idea of that JavaScript or most of the scripting languages. Event handling. So we can see events, different events like click event, mouse over, change, key press. So those all are events. In the real world, we can see events. That means I slap on somebody. So that is an event. And he cries. So that is a response to that event. So that is event response. Okay. So let's add. Here I have changed the code a little bit. At the bottom, you can see a script is added. Okay. So a script is added, and I will explain what this script is. I have given document.get element by ID of title. So that title, the element with ID, title will be get selected. Okay. For this explanation, I have moved out of the console and I have hard coded it in the code itself. Okay. So that is the bottom portion of that script. Okay. So in the script, you can see what title is equal to document.get element by ID of title. So that element with ID is got selected. Now we are adding an event listener to that. Okay. Event listener title dot add event listener, and as part of that event listener, we can give 2 parts. First one, here it is given as click, and that click represents corresponding event. Okay, for that click, we can have change or mouse over or key press, any event we can give. Okay, given click event, and then I have provided a function for, so that is action. Okay, so for the our slap example, here that click stands for the corresponding slap, and that function part stands for corresponding response, whether I can cry or I can person who beat me. Okay, so function left click B, so that is a response. Okay, so add event listener, we can add event listener to web pages to individual elements. So I have added an event listener click or click event to that title element, and that action is left click me. Okay, let's see what happens when a mouse. Okay, I have demonstrated a mouse here. Okay, a mouse is moving and clicking, and a click me is got displayed. So that is event handling. We can attach any event whenever I click that particular H1 element. That H1 element's click event get triggered and corresponding action will happen. The event is click and corresponding action is provided inside that function as alert click me. So that what happened here.
Sir, excuse me.
Okay. So here I modified the code just a little bit. I have
sir,
okay.
Sir, 10:30 ആയി നമുക്ക് ഈ ഇതോടെ തീരുവാണോ ഈ സെഷൻ കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ആവും.
ഇതോടെ തീരാണ്. ഈ ഒരു slide കൊണ്ട്
ഓക്കെ, എന്നിട്ട് നമുക്ക് ഇത് കംപ്ലീറ്റ്
ഈ
ചെയ്തിട്ട് നിർത്താം.
സ്ലൈഡോടുകൂടി ഈ ഒരു ഓക്കെ ഈ ഒരു സ്ലൈഡേ ഉള്ളൂ.
ഓക്കെ സർ.
Okay. Here I have access e.target.style.color. Okay. In the before I have provided. Okay, I have only modified this portion. Instead of that alert, I have given e.target.style.color is equal to red. So I have modified another one thing. I have added an attribute to that function, or parameter, not attribute, parameter to the function that stands for event. Okay, so for that event I can access even arguments list, and here e.target will get us which is the target of that corresponding event. Okay, in our slap example, when I give e.target, that target is me, because me. Here in this example, that e.target, whenever I give e.target, just simply change it to the style.color is equal to red. So let's see what happens. So see, mouse got click, and that particular element style got dynamically changed. This can be possible with even handling comparing with raw. Okay, so this was the foundation of even handling. So you know what is even and how to handle them. So I have provided a list of events. So there are some of the events which are most commonly used for even handling: on blur, on change, on focus, on select, on submit. So on key down, there are several events are there. Many more events are there. So these are the basic common event list. Okay, so that was even handling. So that is the conclusion, and so that is even handling. So through even handling, we can access all the elements and add even to them.
Okay, sir. Hope all the slides have been displayed. നമ്മുടെ സെഷൻ വൈൻഡ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാമല്ലോ അല്ലേ?
ഹലോ
സെഷൻ വൈൻഡ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാമോ സർ?
ഹലോ
സർ കേൾക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ?
വൈൻഡ് അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം.
ഓക്കെ, നമുക്ക് 2 questions ഉണ്ട്. ഞാനത് വായിക്കാം. വൺ ഇസ് ഫ്രം ദീപ. സർ, ഹൗ ക്യാൻ വി ആഡ്? സർ, 2 questions ഉണ്ട്. First question is, how can we add multiple values to attributes?
പറഞ്ഞോളൂ. How can we add multiple value to single attribute? Okay, we can add that. We just need to provide that first attribute name and what are the set of values you need to provide. For example, I can give it as style as the attribute, document dot set attribute, or that element dot set attribute. In the first parameter, I can give style. Okay, so style is the attribute which we are going to change, add. Then we can give color is equal to this color colon red, then a semicolon is put, and then we can give font size is colon 30. So that particular thing got affected, and there is no other way to add multiple events at the same multiple attribute, change multiple events at the same time using that. If you need to change 2 attributes of same, you have to give it separately as 2 statements. I think that is the answer for that.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next question is there any precedence over function invocation when multiple events occur?
Precedence in function method evocation. Model, there is no need for precedence or something, because all those events are separately got affected. That key press and mouse click, we can consider it as example, and whichever happened first will get affected. So there is no need for that preference kind of things, I think.
Okay.
Whichever happens first will get triggered first.
Okay, sir. So with this, I think we have covered all the questions posted by the students. So students, thank you for joining us with us. Thank you. We appreciate your time. And sir, once again, thank you for giving us insight into this topic.